With both waste yarns removed, we can now see the size and shape of the holes in the corner. And that's why I like sewing with a fresh piece of yarn, because I can take this inside the garment and flip it inside out, and I can work a careful neatening stitch at that corner just there. Now on this side we have two yarn tails. We have the one left over from the sleeve, and we can use that one, and we can use this one to close that corner. If we'd started sewing with the tail left over from the sleeve, which is very tempting, it's going to leave us with this hole with no yarn available to us to neaten it. So you'd probably end up coming back and darning it with a separate piece of yarn. I've changed to a slightly sharper needle now, and I'm going to pull the sleeve yarn in the direction to make that stitch happy and catch it through the plies of something else. And this stitch, well, it probably wants to be pulled to the right a little bit, and the side of that stitch. So I'm just splitting the plies here. And that's going to cheer things up quite a lot. I've made a sort of drawstring, and if I continue round my circle, that's looking pretty good. Now let's look at this side. That's not bad at all. And this is a very loose, floppy fabric. I have got one stitch there which looks pretty stressed, and we might deal with him later. But I've made a drawstring round the hole, and now I'm going to sort of lock that off. So I'll split the plies and lock it shut, and now I can cut that piece of yarn off and tease out the tail. Now I have two ends at this end, so I'm actually going to use my white tail to give this stitch, which looks a bit baggy on the front, I'm going to give him a little extra support by using the white tail behind him. But with a little clever work with a darning needle behind the scenes, these enormous holes can be made to go away. I still have one more tail to darn in here, so I might as well use it for good. So I'm going to pull it across here and just do duplicate stitch behind the seams to copy and support that stretch stitch. So this is the stretchy stitch. So if I just stay on the inside of that and give it a little support from behind the seams, and then I can darn this tail in it. And I always try to fan my tails out so that they don't all form a big lump in one spot. And let's have a look to see what that looks like on the public side. It's not bad at all, even though we had two yarn tails to hide at that corner. I find it much easier to graft starting in the middle, and that way I have a tail to help you neaten both corners. Here's my little drawstring I'm creating around that hole. I've split the plies all the way round. Now I'm just gently gathering that shut. And that's looking pretty good on this side. So I'll just snuggle that up and lock it off. And I think we've done with our neatening here. So there's underarm number 1. Underarm number 2, not bad at all. And here's our little finished sleeve for our micro cardigan.